Hey everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Ali. Tonight's story is a little different. It's not actually my own story, it's one that someone once shared with me. For the sake of this story, let's call him Max. Max told me about what he went through when he was younger, and I'm going to tell it to you the way he told it to me, in his own words, in the first person. And this is his story. So, the story begins a few years ago. I was about 16, living a life that, on the surface, looked pretty normal. I went to school, hung out with friends, played video games, and laughed like everyone else. But underneath that normal life, things were far from normal. You know how sometimes people put on a mask for the world, acting like everything's fine, even when it's not? That was me. I smiled, I joked, even I even seemed confident, but inside it felt like I was carrying a weight no one could see. It started with little things, feeling unusually tired all the time, waking up in the middle of the night with my mind racing, worrying about things that, looking back, didn't really matter. But I didn't tell anyone. I thought everyone has problems. Mine aren't that bad. But the truth, they were building up quietly inside me. The strangest part is how easy it is to fool people. My friends never suspected a thing. Teachers never noticed. Even my parents, well, they noticed I was queer, but they thought I was just going through normal teenage mood swings. And that's how easy it is to hide, so easy that sometimes you forget you're even hiding at all. As the months went by, the weight got heavier. Every day, I felt like I was walking around with a backpack filled with rocks. And no matter what I did, it never got lighter. I couldn't explain it. I didn't even fully understand it myself. Some nights, I'd sit in my room staring at the ceiling, thinking about everything and nothing at the same time. I wanted to tell someone, my parents, maybe a friend, but I couldn't. The words felt stuck in my throat. And the worst part, feeling like nobody would understand. Like I was completely alone. And that's the thing about struggles people don't talk about. They make you feel isolated. Even when you're surrounded by people, it's like there's a glass wall between you and the rest of the world. You want help, but you're scared of being judged. You want to speak up, but the fear of being misunderstood is louder than your own voice. I started having days where I couldn't even get out of bed. My school work suffered. I stopped hanging out with friends as much. I laughed less. I smiled less. And all the while, I kept pretending everything was fine, pretending I had it all together. Because the alternative felt too real to face. One evening, things got worse than ever. I had just come back from school, and the silence in the house felt heavier than usual. I sat on my bed and, I don't know, I just broke down. For the first time in months, I let it all out. I cried, I screamed, I yelled at the ceiling because I didn't know who else to yell at. It was terrifying, it was freeing, and it was also lonely. I remember thinking, if someone comes in, they'll see me like this, and they'll think I'm weak. They'll judge me. But nobody came in. I was alone, completely alone, and somehow that moment of absolute loneliness, it made me realize something. I couldn't keep living like this. Something had to change. The next day, I walked to school carrying the same invisible weight, but now I felt determined. I needed someone to notice. I didn't know who, but I had to try. And sometimes trying is the hardest part of all. And then it happened. Out of nowhere, I meet someone who noticed. Maybe it was the way I walked. Maybe it was in my eyes. Or maybe it was just luck. But, but they stopped me. They asked, very casually, "Are you okay?" And at first, I wanted to lie. I wanted to say, "Yeah, fine," like always. But something inside me snipped. I told them, not everything at once, but the start. A little piece of the truth. And do you know what happened? They listened. Not with judgment, not with advice, just listened. And when I finished, they didn't make it about themselves. They didn't dismiss my feelings. They just understood. That day, for the first time in months, maybe even years, I felt a glimmer of hope. Like maybe I wasn't alone after all. And from that day, slowly but surely, things started to change. I started opening up a little more. I started talking to my parents, telling them things I thought they'd never understand. And you know what? They did understand. It wasn't perfect, and it wasn't instant, but it started a conversation. And that's all it takes sometimes, just starting. Looking back now, I can't believe how long I went without talking. I used to think that keeping things inside made me strong. But the truth, it just made me exhausted. Hiding your feelings, pretending everything is fine. It's heavy, it's draining, and it's lonely. Reaching out, even just once, was the bravest thing I ever did. And here's what I've learned. Struggling doesn't make you weak. Pretending to be fine when you're not doesn't make you strong. The real strength comes from being honest, even when it's scary, even when it feels impossible. And here's the thing I want everyone watching to remember. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to feel broken sometimes. It's okay to feel like the world doesn't understand you. But it's not okay to stay silent. Find someone, anyone, talk, And if you can't today, try tomorrow. Because healing begins when you let someone in, even a little. I know today's story was a bit heavy. It's not the usual fun, exciting story, but sometimes the stories that are hardest to tell are the ones that matter the most. If you've ever felt like this, know that you're not alone. And if you know someone going through it, maybe send them a message. Ask them if they're okay. Sometimes that simple question can save a life. Thanks for sticking around and listening to this story. If you want more stories like this, stories about life, struggles, secrets, and lessons, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Maybe even share your own story because we all have them, and sharing them makes us human. Until next time, this is Story Time with Ali. Signing off.